Pediatrics, we have Benadryl liquids, ibuprofen and Tylenol elixir, Scepter suspension, Omnicept, asthma, we have prednisone and Singular, but we need the inhalers.
Blood pressure medicines here.
Antibiotics, Doxy, Amox, Keflex, Cipro, Bactrim, Augmentin, Rocephin IM, and Flagyl.
A lot of the high-level trauma is over with, and now it's back to doing basic, primary medical care. And it's the care that these people, their houses are down, they don't have their medicines, their doctor's offices are down, their doctor may be dead, and they still need the care that they need for their chronic conditions. And so we're trying to fill in and do that as well. Got his name on it. Here's what's happening is they won't they're trying to keep this place secure. They won't let us leave anything. These aren't for Mission Hospital that he's serving. They came in on the Amway flight. Need Mary up with me, because we don't have a pharmacist up.
What's happening now? Why?
This is somebody else.
We can load the van and drop it in your room down there. We need to get all that stuff off.
All we're doing here is brand new people coming in, and as you can see, there's chaos out here on the runway, and we have to go out and get them, bring them back, and so now we're splitting them up into two clinics right away. They're going to hit the ground.
Hey guys.
So
I'm going to see a Port-au-Prince that's going to look very different from what I've seen in the past. It's going to be emotionally difficult when we first get there. I think the drive through Port-au-Prince might actually be a little shocking.
Gary? Good. Gary, so hold on a second while I figure.
Junior!
It took us too long to get here. I'm so sorry.
She has asthma. And she fell when the earthquake happened.
Probably hurts her a little bit. Let me see. I know. If she doesn't want to eat, it's because that little thing is there. But we can't cut it out.
Tell her, ask her to point where she's hurting. The debris came down on her, and it more or less just kind of came down. It didn't do any trauma, but it kind of crushed. So it's frustrating because she may have something done or something cracked in her pelvic area and that, and we don't know.
The father of the baby died when the earthquake happened.
And how many kids does she have now?
Combien petit tu gagnes? She has 2 kids already.
Directions we go up the hill. Okay, left. Ah, yeah. Here we are. Bonsoir. Bonsoir.
He's had prostate cancer, was scheduled for surgery on his prostate the day of the earthquake, and had problems urinating, and finally got a catheter put in, and we've just been doing the wound care, the dressing changes since then, making sure his pain's under control, and trying to figure out how we can get him to a surgeon to actually do the prostate surgery.
Public service announcement. If you find a patient that needs surgery, you know, our first stop is Ron. But if we need to take somebody somewhere, you really need to touch base with their families. You can't just scoop them up and take them away, because somebody's got to come and get them. And if you scoop them up from here, I'm imagining that our friends here will be the contact people. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
We're here today setting up a mobile clinic at the Church of the Holy Spirit, devastated by the earthquake. Very difficult getting here with the roads and the damage that we saw along the way. And they have a tent city just outside the walls here. Several amputees, wound dressing changes, etc. we're planning for today to be checked. So we're going to get at it.
Okay.
We're going to give her a shot of antibiotic. Hey, can you grab me 2 Vicodin? Does that hurt? Is it hurting you?
Est-ce qu'il faut mal?
No.
She was making some bean sauce, spilled on her and burned her. That's very typical here. They cook with charcoal and they cook with oil. And the kids playing close to the fire. So the accidents like that happen. Either they run into it, it gets tipped over, it gets spilled on them, and a lot of these children end up with these very, very bad burns.
I don't think a camera, even looking at a TV or even on a big screen IMAX theater, you couldn't get the scope of what this looks like. It's unthinkable. You can't even, our brain can't grasp the magnitude of how large. It's hell on earth. It's a war zone. I can't think anything less than that. That's symbolism, isn't it? Broken heart.
My name is Sister Mary Finnick, and I'm the director of the Matthew 25 House, which is a hospitality house here in Port-au-Prince. Well, it certainly grew from a hospitality house into pretty much of a triage critical care unit, and we were then faced with the follow-up care. The lack of follow-up care has been and continues to be one of the most biggest medical problems. There is no place to send somebody to stay for any length of time. So when they go into a hospital, they're discharged very, very quickly, and families that do not have homes have to put them somewhere. So they bring them here, or they bring them to other neighborhood, what we now call clinics.
Change it twice a day, that's even better, but that's what I would do, you know, day to day.
But we can do it twice a day.
What?
We can do it twice.
You can do it twice a day?
Sure, I'll do it in the morning and then come back over in the afternoon.
That's wonderful. That's the way to do it.
This spot goes back about 28 years. My father was the director of Grace Children's Hospital, which is run by International Child Care. They run this hospital for children with tuberculosis. And at that time, I was in my early teen years, and we lived in this house here behind, that you see behind me. So that's the connection. But I asked her if she was here, and she said, "Oh yeah, you used to run around here. You were smaller then." But now she just asked about my mom, so I have to bring my mom over to see her.
My mask on here. Orthopedics, you spill a lot of stuff on the floor usually, so. Since this is my one and only pair of shoes down here, try to keep them a little. Probably have maybe a half a dozen to 15 blades, like a 25 1.5 needle or something in that nature. So kind of a long needle. 99%. What we're going to do today is try to remove that, the bone that's sticking out, so he won't have a piece of bone sticking out of his leg. If it's too big to remove, I'll at the very least cut off the end of it that's sticking out. Oh, we need some more gauze, sterile gauze sponges dispensed too. You can see his tibia through that hole, but there we go. There's the piece. We're just about done.
C'est vrai. C'est vrai. OK, bon, merci. Because we're done here.
Yeah.
Well, good, because I got to pick up some things up at Rolo's. They got all the supplies up there. I don't know why they don't. Anyway.
We still have a functioning hospital, is a central hospital. It's overwhelming, definitely. But we try to deal with the situation.
The number of injured people, injured in a variety of ways, who have come out of the quake zone into the Grand Anse province and into Jeremy. And there's insufficient supplies, there's insufficient materials, and there's insufficient staff here in Jeremy to help them. We have people who have fractures, we have people who have serious wounds, we have people with serious trauma. Here in the Saint Antoine Hospital.
This is a baby who was born 1 month ago, and the mother died. The preacher from the neighborhood took the child. The child has been vomiting for 2 days. We are trying to put an IV for the baby. We think there might be some infection associated with the problem, with the dehydration.
I need the marking. Marking, I'll get it right now. Hey, excuse-moi. All right, vous quantifiez. We just had a delivery, first baby, beautiful baby girl. She came out crying and everything. So now we're trying to get the placenta out. So everything, the mom is feeling good. I'm feeling good. Qui l'on s'assure? Tranquille bien. She delivered about January, end of January, and then she developed, a postpartum infection. Right now she has peritonitis. We're trying to give her antibiotic. We need to do surgery for her. Her hemoglobin is 4. We need to give her blood. We need to do all those type of things before we could put her under the operating table. Other than that, she could either die here or die in the operating table. So those are the situations we're dealing with. Every single case is a problem. It's life and death.
The woman underwent surgery, and it turned out she had a ruptured appendix, and there's a severe infection throughout her abdomen. The infection was cleaned out, the appendix was removed. But individuals like this are just extremely ill. Unfortunately, this woman succumbed last night to the infection.
Livré formal, ok. Donc on va pas coucher sous dos, on coucher sous dos, puis on met où? On va capable. Donc on coucher sous côté c'est. She's a young girl, 4 years old, who was in Port-au-Prince when this earthquake happened. And what happened? Some rock fell on her head, and we don't know if probably I don't think he have a skull fracture, but he have a big laceration.
Sorry, mommy.
We have children who are, losing their hair, whose skin are flaking off from malnutrition. We have, patients, children who are dying from dehydration.
But the most important thing is a kid with malnutrition. Okay, that's what we are focused on. I'm looking for what we can find in the X-ray. Yeah, because there is a possible TB contact in the family. Did you do a TB test? No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Hi, my name is Kent Mercado. I'm from Chicago. I do wound care. This is a crush injury where the whole top of the top of the skin was sloughed off, and it went all the way down to the bones, and you can see where it was all the way down to the bones here. This is Mademoiselle Lambert. She has a wound that they had done a partial amputation on it. The area is still infected. We're going to clean it out again.
Dr. Kent Mercado, who is a pediatrist and also a wound care specialist, he comes from Chicago, and he's played an enormously important role of sourcing almost all the medicines we have available today, and really has been up to this point our quartermaster.
I think we can still help the people a lot. People have different approaches to injuries, but these injuries are very bad injuries, but they're healing. And now it's time to move the people around to get them feeling better. If he has a bad ankle sprain, it's been a month, he's probably better off with that air cast. This patient had a femur fracture. She broke her thigh bone in the earthquake. And she's concerned today because she sees some fluid coming out of the leg. So we're just checking to make sure there are no signs of infection. Remember, someday I expect you to get better and come visit me at the hospital in New York where I work.
Let me get the doctor. You have any surgical patient, any more surgical patient?
There's going to be more surgical. I'm just looking at wounds. Right
Yeah,
now.
we have all kind of injuries. Most likely it's a fracture of the legs, fracture of the pelvis, fracture of the ribs, and all kind of injury due to this earthquake. Okay, but at the same time, you know, I'm a general surgeon. I'm looking for any problem with acute cholecystitis, gallbladder problem. We just saw a patient with a mass of the stomach, and we're going to do some surgery for the patient.
They've lost loved ones, families, homes, and I think most of all they've lost the treasures of their country. They've lost the palace, they've lost the cathedral, they've lost all of these landmarks that meant so much to them, even though they have very little. These buildings signified something to each one of them, and they no longer exist. So no wonder they're here with a headache or a stomach ache. But primarily I think they're here because there's a desire to be just listened to, touched, held, and in some way that I see now is one of our main works, is that we are responding to the needs of the people that are here.
I'm leaving Sunday in 2 days, and but I'm going to leave my heart here.
One